All right, so just how badly is Congress blowing this? I want to bring in Colorado Republican Congressman Ken Buck. Congressman Buck, yesterday the market it had a pretty good day. It was doing really good, and then all of those hefty gains are just sort of wiped out. And it just happened just moments after Mitch McConnell said the two sides hadn't even spoken about this deal here. Does Congress get or understand the economic ramifications if there's no additional help? And mind you, I just had a pretty smart market guy say he doesn't think that we need any more help. But I think parts of the economy, big parts of it, do.
Yeah, I think Congress recognizes that, but I also think there's a political reality in an election year that it's very unlikely that a deal gets done that both sides are going to be satisfied with. I think from the perspective of Republicans, we want to make sure that business owners are covered with some type of liability protection. I think we need to make sure that we incentivize workers to get back to work, and we can't do that if we're giving them $600 a week over and above their unemployment benefits, over and above what they would have made if they are working. And so I think that there are some really key sticking points that need to be resolved, and I doubt they will get resolved before November 3rd.
Wow. So yesterday I had this conversation with Steve Moore, and what I said to him is in February, I would have been like, okay, no way you want to give people extra money on federal unemployment. But in February, we had 7 million job openings and 5 million people unemployed. So more than one job for every person unemployed. As of right now, we have 5.9 million job openings and 13 million people unemployed from that February high. The notion that we can turn the economy back on with a switch it's kind of far-fetched. So what should be done to help people who just don't have an immediate job to go back to? Should there be any extra incentive or help for those households?
Well, I think there's plenty of incentives, and I think one of the things that we have to take into account is the governors shut down the economy, and the federal government pays for it. And I think the governors have to be much more aggressive in opening up their economy in a safe way, but much more aggressive in opening up their economies. And we cannot continue to have governors who are overly cautious and are acting in ways that the science just doesn't back up. When you look at Western Europe, and you look at Germany and Sweden and France and other countries and the way they are moving forward with opening their schools and their economies, America is just acting too slowly. And part of the reason is that the governors aren't financially responsible for their actions. They're looking to the federal government to bail them out. And the federal government doesn't have any more money. We just cannot keep writing trillion-dollar checks and expecting future generations to pay off that money.
I agree 1,000%. I felt there should have been a provision from day one for these governors that were opening too slowly. You can't have it both ways. I agree. You can't get all of the PPP money, all of the fiscal stimulus, and stay shut down and complain about the overall economy. I agree with you 1,000%. Before I let you go, though, I want to zero back in on what you said then. Are you saying no stimulus this year, no further stimulus until after the election, perhaps?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I think the president has great flexibility, and I think that there will be portions of bills that will be passed. But when you're looking at an overall package, and when Nancy Pelosi demands that the state pension system in California that has been in the red, operating in the red for decades, is part of the overall package that needs to be fixed. And when you're talking about other pork barrel projects that are being thrown into the mix, I think Republicans have had enough. And while we are absolutely sympathetic to those workers and those small businesses that need help, we are not sympathetic to the type of pork that we've seen in the past stimulus packages.
Yeah, I agree. This is no time to put in bridges to nowhere or pay for those profligate pension plans that these states have offered and now can't afford. Congressman, thank you very much. A great interview. Appreciate it a lot. See you soon.
Thank you.
All right.